friends. In the previous lecture, we talked about various programs related to while loop under the subject programming in Python in the topic control structures in Python. Now we will be moving ahead in this slide in this video, and we will be understanding some jump statements and the programs related to that. So let me come across the break statement. So break statement is something which, when executed, moves you out of the loop. So break is a keyword in Python and it is actually a jump statement. And when the break statement is executed, the control moves outside the loop, irrespective of the fact that the condition in the while loop is still true. So though the condition in the while loop was true, but because the break statement got executed, the control moved out of the loop. So this is another way of moving out of the loop. One way is making the condition as false, and the other is executing the break statement. So it is used inside the loop with an if statement. So when some particular condition gets satisfied inside the loop, we actually go for a break statement, and that break statement lets us to move out of the loop. So it is used to end the iteration exceptionally when the specific condition is met. So let us see an example. Let us see we have the value of x as 0 and the value of y as 5. So the loop says that it will be executed until the value of x becomes 20. So until the value of x becomes 20 means the condition that I have applied is x less than 20. So up to the value of x for which the condition is true, the block of code inside the while loop will get executed again and again. So it is printing the values of x and y, and if the value of x and y are equal, then it is going to execute the break statement. Otherwise, not otherwise, it is going to go for x equal to x plus 1 every time the loop is getting executed. And out of the loop, it is printing when it is moving out of the loop. So see, when the value of x is 0 and y is 5, so the value of x is being 0, 0 less than 20 is true. So it moves inside the loop and it says we have to print the value of x and y. So 0 and y, 0 and 5 gets printed. And because this condition is false, that x and y are not equal, 0 and 5 are not equal. So break will not get executed and it will be increasing the value of x by 1. So the value of x will become 1 and the value of y will still remain 5. So because the value of x, which is 1, is less than 20, so it will again be moving inside the loop and it will be printing the value of x and y as 1 and 5 respectively. Because 1 and 5 are not equal, so break will not get executed. And so the value of x will be made to 2. Because the value of 2 is again less than 20. So it will again move inside the loop and it will print the value of x and y, which are 2 and 5. And then followed by it will be printing the value of x and y as 3 and 5. Followed by it will be printing the value of x and y as 4 and 5. Followed by it will be printing the value of x and y as 5 and 5. But after printing the value as 5 and 5, because x and y are both equal, we need to execute the break statement. So as soon as the break statement gets executed, the control moves out of the loop. And out of the loop, we have the print statement which prints out of the loop. So out of the loop will be printed. So you can see that though the condition x less than 20 is still true, but still we are out of the loop because the break statement is executed. While can also be having the else part along with that. While and else both will be uh, uh, taken together, and else will only be executed once when the condition of while loop becomes false. So if we want to execute a block of statement when the condition in the while loop becomes false, we use the else at the end of the while loop. So it is somewhat like the if and else part, that if the condition of if is false, then else is executed. In the same manner, when the condition in the while is false, it will be executing the else part. So the block of code inside else will be executed only once when the condition of the loop is false. So it is beneficial when we use break statement inside the loop. So break statement will be break and else will be helping us out to know whether we have moved out of the loop using the break statement or the condition became false, so we have moved out. So if we are moving out after executing the else part, it means that we have the condition made as false and then only else part got executed and then we moved out of the loop. But in the case of break, because break has executed, we are moving out of the loop and the condition of while is still true. So else part will not get executed. So we have another logic for finding whether a number is prime number or not. So we can just find out that as soon as a number gets divisible by some other number apart from one and the number itself, so I will be knowing that that number is not prime. So what is the need of executing the code again and again, executing the loop again and again? Because for example, I'm going for 102, then just by knowing that it is divisible by 2, I'm going to understand that the number is not going to be prime. So why I'm going to check for 3, for 4, for 5, for 6, and so on. So it is a better logic which says that just start from 2, because 1 I know that it will be getting executed, right? It will be completely divisible. So I will be starting from 2, and until the value of divisor is less than num itself, which is the number itself. I will be checking if the number when divided by the divisor is having the remainder 0. Just I'm going to print that the number is not prime. And I'm going to break. Break means I'm going to move out of the loop, because I have come to the conclusion that the number is not prime. And otherwise I'm increasing the value of divisor as divisor plus 1. In the else part, I'm writing number is prime. So this print number is prime will be only printed when this condition becomes true. If this condition is true, what it means? It means that it has executed this particular code for all the values of divisor which are less than number, right? Then and it did not find any. Because if it would have find any divisor, then number is not prime would have been printed, and the control would have moved out of the loop. But because control have moved out of the loop because this condition is false, so it will be moving to the else part, and there it will be printing the number is fine. So when I executed this code for these four different types of inputs, for 25 it said that the number is not prime. For 8 it said that the number is not prime. For 7 it said that the number is prime. For 29 it said that the number is prime. So this is a different way of identifying whether a number is prime or not. And this is a better logic because it will not be having the iterations number of times, right? Before moving to the for loop, just understand the concept of a function, which is a range function. So range function, what it does, range function actually returns you a sequence of tuple which contains a number of values. Like if you are writing range n is some value. Then from 0 to n minus 1, you will be getting all the values, uh, all the values in the range from 0 to n minus 1. The first value will be 0, the last value will be n minus 1. See, n is not included, right? If you are writing the, if you are calling the function of range from 1 to n, it will be starting from 1 and it will be ending to n minus 1. The same as that. And if you are going for range 0, comma 20, comma 2, it means you have to start from 0, you have to end by not moving to 20, and you have to jump each time to 2. So you will be getting 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on up to 18. In the same manner, if you are giving 1, 18, 3, it means it will be starting by 1. It will be giving the jump of 3, and it will not be moving ahead of 18. So the last value will be 16 in this case. The for loop is same as the while loop because it also goes for iteration multiple times. But in this case, we actually know how many times the loop is going to be executed. In the while loop, we did not knew that how many times the loop is going to be executed. So the syntax for loop is for variable in range, the value of start, the value of stop, and the value of step, and the statements in the block. Right? There is no need of any increment or decrement in this case. And for and in both are the keywords, and range is an inbuilt function. So let's see how a for loop is getting executed. We are having for variable in sequence, right? Each time it will be taking a value from the sequence. If the sequence, all the values have been taken by the variable, then in that case, I will be moving out of the loop. If not, then I will be executing the block of code again and will again taking the next value from the sequence only, right? So just we shall go for a factorial of a number. Uh, we can do the same with the help of for loop as well. So we will be taking the input from the user. The input will be converted into integer and will be stored in a variable n, right? And then we are initializing the value of f. This is the previous case as you have understood previously. Then I will be having a for loop that will be starting from 1 and will be moving to n. So what my range function will be, The starting point will be 1, the ending point will be n plus 1, because n plus 1 is not going to be included. And every time I'm going to do f equal to f into I, and after coming out of the loop, I'm going to print the value of f. Right. Please make a note that even in this case, the copy of the number is also not going to be used, because your number is not at all destroyed. Right. This is all related to your for loop and the break. So I hope you have understood. Thank you. Thanks for listening.